Hello again, everyone. This is Sam Modian from MassiveNerd.net, bringing you Game 2 of my Starcraft II Learning from Your Mistakes series. Here we are on the map Junkyard. Once again, I am here as the yellow Protoss in the bottom left, and my friend Farfpool has spawned again as the Terran in the top right. So, in the first game, after the first game, I gave my friend some hints about how he can improve his gameplay. Most notably focusing on his economy, trying to get his units built a little faster, a lot of really basic strategies. So we're going to see how he takes those strategies and then learns from them and tries to become a little better. On the economy side in this game, he did better than the first time. As for the game itself, well, you're just going to have to wait and see that. So here we are again. I'm going to speed up the early parts because if you're watching my videos for a tight build order, you're watching the wrong ones. And I've already got my first pylon up, and if you look over here, again, my friend has made the same mistake of getting his gas early. This is really a problem of his that I didn't point out until later on in our series of games. I really wish I had noticed it sooner so that I could have given them that advice sooner. So here we go and come in. You see, just as he's getting his barracks down, I'm already bringing in my gateway, and I'm bringing in my probe to scout. Now, one of the lessons I wanted to teach him this game was about harassment, and you're going to see just how much harassment this one little probe is going to do. I have him attacking the SCV, attempting to build the barracks. I don't quite get him down, but it's a good way to distract him. If I can kill that SCV, it'll stop building the barracks until he can pull another SCV off the line. So not only does he lose the 50 minerals that he used to build that SCV, but he then has to stop production from a second one. Still trying to attack him, but I didn't get it in time. So I'm going to chase him around. I'm finally going to kill him, and I did force him to pull one of his SCVs off the line, so he has lost double the minerals right now, basically. And just to mess with him, I've built an assimilator of my own on his gas. While not necessarily worth the 150 minerals in this game, it's just a way I like to goof around with him. Now, in some games, that can be a good move. If you notice that your opponent is going for a strong, fast build, let's say a Reaper Rush or heavy Marauders early on, that really can put a bit of a dent in his opening economy. Not to mention, just piss him off, and you can get in your opponent's head, well, all the better. Get him off his game, and all the while improving your gameplay. So right now, I'm not really certain what he's doing. He does have some SCVs building. He's a little upset that he can't catch the stupid probe. Meanwhile, I'm not even paying attention to what's going on over here. I'm back at my base focusing on my gameplay. So if you notice, I solved the mistake that I made in the first game and remembered to build gas this time of my own before I can get my cybernetics core down. So that way, once the cybernetics core is done, I can get my warp gate research and my stalkers out a lot sooner than I did in the first game. So here we go. He's finally got a marine out. But of course, the marine can't quite catch the probe yet. There he goes, he finally gets them, and now he has to spend all that time bringing down that assimilator before he can build one of his own. What the heck is this guy doing? We're going to follow this little probe for a second. He got lost somewhere along the way. Speed him up, he's going way too slow. Yeah, apparently this poor little probe is this poor little SCV has gotten greedy and has decided to long-distance mine the gold minerals. For those of you who don't know, the gold minerals are worth more than the blue minerals, but this is not an effective way to gather them. I don't know what happened. He must have clicked somewhere wrong. So this poor SCV is being so unproductive. Meanwhile, what could this SCV being used better for? Scouting. You saw I brought my probe in here, saw what he had going on, but what does he know about my base? Let's look at his point of view. He knows nothing. So if he had sent this little probe who's running around after me instead, he could at least know what's coming after him. But as you can see, he's going with the same, or a similar build as the first game, getting his heavy Marauders with no Marines to back him up. And whether by strategy or by accident, he is getting a small little wall going on over here at his front gate. Again, not a full wall. That's not a strategy that I explained to him in detail until later on, because after each match he just wanted to start up the next one again, didn't have a whole lot of time for chatting in between. He's getting his factory down, he's got his engineering bay already, and researching the upgrades. If you watch these games, I don't spend a whole lot of time working on the actual upgrades, which is really something I should have done. So if you look what I'm going on here, I've got a nice little force coming out. I am training my first observer, sending it over to him. Have my Twilight Council up, but I have, again, not done anything with it. But you see, I'm getting a Void Ray out. As I said, one of the lessons I wanted to teach him in this match was about harassing your enemy. So, speed this up one more time here. Let this little Void Ray go over here, and let's see how much harassment I can get out of this unit. Probably a little more than I did out of a probe. Because again, knowing his gameplay, he has nothing that can attack air. So my Void Ray has got his laser charged up. And I did want to come after this armory first, because with the armory up, he can build Thors. Thors are an anti-air unit. So if I take the armory down, he can't build any Thors to shoot down the Void Ray. Now, of course, I didn't do it quick enough. He already got a Thor out. So I'm going to keep my Void Ray here as long as I can, using up his shields. Taking damage to the shields isn't really going to hurt anything. Start taking HP damage, and I float him away. There's his one Marine, his only other anti-air unit. So he's taken a little bit of damage, but overall he's still pretty healthy. I'm going to leave him here for a little while, let his shields regen, and then use him again in the future. Now meanwhile, while I had him focused on what's going on over here, I got an expansion down. And again, making the same mistake I made before of not transferring the probes, although I did transfer the one this time to gas. Don't ask me why he went to gas, but he went to gas. That was my decision. Because, again, I don't quite have enough probes to transfer. I'm working off 22 probes right now, which, as I mentioned in the first game, is not enough for one base, let alone two. It's still a part of my gameplay I'm working on, trying to keep myself in the mindset of constantly building those workers. Getting my robotics bay down so I can make some more colossi, because I love my colossi. And now I've got my observer coming over to watch what he's doing. As I bring my observer in, I do notice, though, he's plopping down some missile turrets. So he doesn't last too long. Now, in this time, it was actually a good idea for him to build the missile turrets. If you remember the first game, he built a missile turret that did absolutely nothing. It sat there, it shot down one observer the entire game. But at least in this game, I have shown him that I want to bring in air units. So building a couple missile turrets here and there for defense isn't a bad call this time around. See if I can take the refinery down before Thor comes in. Absolutely, that laser does so much damage. And again, float out of the way. Harassing him, not really coming in with a full attack. Just trying to keep him busy, keep him off his game so that I can get onto mine. And making him spend more money on those missile turrets. Now, if you look back to that first game, one of the other suggestions I gave him was to go Orbital Command instead of Planetary Fortress. Again, the Planetary Fortress is a great defensive structure,